Men be gay and they don't be wanting to accept it. Just accept it, bro. Don't be up in my face. Go in his face. Bruh. Okay, this is absolutely disgusting. This about the most disgusting thing I've ever read. And we done read some crazy stuff. This is too much. This is actually too much. Hello, little enzymes. Welcome back to Daisha's Digest. The topic for today's video is going to be I'm a lover and a leaver. Before we get started, I wanted to shout out Nissa Hartman, who bought me a coffee. I haven't had one of those in a while. I mean, like the ones that you guys give me. And they said, I'm binging your channel. I can't afford to become a Patreon supporter, but have a coffee on me. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. With that being said, all of the information will be included in the description. If you guys are ever curious about what I use to film, what microphone I have, maybe what I'm wearing, I usually have that also all included in the description, just FYI. We have 3 stories, so let's get into it. The first one says, am I the a-hole here for considering calling off my wedding because my fiance refuses to sign a prenup after I found out she has a massive credit card debt? I am just a middle-aged man supposed to be getting married in a few months to my fiance. We've been together for 3 years, engaged for 1, and for most of that time, I genuinely believed we were on the same page about life values and, most importantly, honesty. For background, I've worked hard to build a stable financial foundation. I'm not wealthy, but I own my home outright, have no personal debt, and I've been saving and investing since my early 20s. It's been a priority for me, especially since my parents went through a nasty divorce that ruined both of them financially. About a month ago, while we were discussing wedding costs, I brought up a prenup. Not in a cold or controlling way, I just wanted to protect the life I've worked hard to build. I was upfront that I'd still be fair and the agreement wouldn't leave her with nothing. I expected an adult conversation. Instead, she immediately got defensive. She said things like, so you're already planning for a divorce? And I thought we'd trust each other. I tried to explain it wasn't about trust, it was about transparency and mutual protection, but she shut it down completely. That's when red flags started popping up. She became evasive every time money came up, and I started noticing weird things, credit card offers in the mail, a few missed payments on shared expenses she said she'd cover, and lots of I'll handle it later energy. Well, first of all, I want to say I think everybody should get a prenup. Pre-that-nup. Because prenups protect everyone pretty much in this situation. You can put whatever stipulations that you want in a prenup. So, whatever type of marriage, man, woman, man, them, they, whatever. I think everybody should be getting a prenup. It's just smart. And it, like, in the unlikely and hopefully unforeseen event that you do get a divorce or something, then, everything is already taken care of and it don't gotta be nasty or nothing like that. But I wonder why so he's saying that the red flags started popping up. I wonder if it's like, did she start changing up how she does things, or did he just start noticing them? Because that's interesting. He continues, so I asked directly if she had debt. She admitted it. $92,000 in credit card debt. Not student loans, not a mortgage, credit cards. $92,000. The amount of anxiety I would have every single day if I had that much credit card debt. I would be working so many jobs trying to pay that down. But then again, someone who can rack up that much in credit card debt, I don't think they worried about working extra jobs to pay it off. Because that's just crazy. She said it accumulated over the years from unexpected expenses and a few dumb splurges, but she never told me about any of it until I forced the issue. I was stunned. We're about to merge lives. This woman was about to legally become my spouse, and she didn't think I deserved to know she was 6 figures in the red. I told her this made the prenup non-negotiable for me. I need to protect myself not just emotionally but financially. Wait a minute here. How long have they were together for 3 years, engaged for 1. Did he not notice any like poor spending habits? 92,000? That just doesn't happen overnight. Did he not know like how much she made and was kind of like seeing how that compared to her lifestyle? Oh man. He said, I need to protect myself not just emotionally, but financially. I told her I was willing to still move forward, but not without something in writing that protects my premarital assets. She lost it, called me selfish, said I was turning love into a business deal, said my house and money should be hers too if we're truly a team. I disagree with that. If he got it before she was with him, I completely disagree. He said since then, she's refused to talk about the prenup again and we're barely speaking. Even her mother called me and accused me of humiliating. Wait a minute. Accused me of humiliating her daughter and being materialistic. Ma'am, your daughter is the one with $100K basically in credit card debt. She's the materialistic one. He said, all I want is to not be liable for debt I didn't create and to make sure the life I built before this relationship is protected. So now I'm seriously reconsidering the whole wedding. Not because she has debt, but because she hid it, then refused to take responsibility, and now is treating me like the bad guy for trying to protect myself. I'm almost certain that she could pay her debts since she is a partner in her friend's business, but she just refuses to. Am I the a-hole for thinking about walking away? Not the a-hole. The part that you said that she probably could pay the debt but is refusing to, that makes it even worse. Because as I was mentioning, if it were me, I wouldn't be going outside. I wouldn't be buying nothing. Like, I would have so many jobs. My middle name would be job. My first name would be career. My last name would be money. I would be trying to pay it off so much, but I do understand that some people are not able to do that. Maybe they have obligations, maybe they have kids, maybe they're not able-bodied, whatever the reason might be. So with that in mind, I give her a little bit of grace. But he says she's partly a partner in her friend's business. What's the business exactly? That's what I need to know. But does she generate any other income other than that? Is the business the only thing she does? This is just crazy. For the simple fact that she had the debt alone, I would not. I don't think I could. That's a lot. And it's all credit cards. It would be different for me if it was like student loan debt. Everybody got student loan debt, but 92K in credit. At some point, like, what did you stop and think like, maybe I shouldn't swipe it again this time? Oh man. Some of the comments, someone said, not the a-hole. I'm glad you found out before you got married. And I'm more glad you didn't push on purely because you love her. She showed you clearly she cannot be trusted and finds no fault lying to you, that all she was actually wanting was for you to be liable for her debts and for her to get her hands on your savings so she can keep spending. Without respect, trust, and love, there can be no marriage. As hard as it is, she couldn't have loved you if she was happy to lie and trap you with her debt. I'm just glad you brought up the prenup, or you might have never discovered the truth. That's true. OP responded, yeah, for me, trust is the most fundamental thing in marriage. That's why I chose to let go. Another comment, not the a-hole, you definitely did the right thing. It is a huge red flag, and credit card debt meant it could get even higher if she spends money all the time that she doesn't have. OP responded, and the thing is, she has the ability to pay all of these since she's earning passively from her friend's venture. I don't know where her income went. Dang. Another comment, if she was hiding this from you, she likely was hiding more things, and that includes where the money went. Y'all know, is it crack? Y'all know when there's large amounts of money going like this, it's not necessarily crack, but an addiction of some sort. The last comment says, she clearly prioritized her comfort over financial transparency. That's a huge breach of trust. So the update, so I wasn't planning to come back, but a lot of people messaged me, and honestly, it's been a heck of a few days. I figured I'd give an update. So yeah, the wedding is officially off. After I posted, I tried one more time to talk to my fiance, well, ex now. I told her I wasn't trying to be cold or controlling, I just needed to protect myself. I also said that if the roles were reversed, I'd completely understand if she wanted to do the same. I told her I could still move forward with the wedding if we signed a fair prenup. That's crazy. To still even be considering moving forward? Bruh, come on now. I'm looking at him sideways for that one. Because after I found out you 92K in the hole, there is no, the prenup is off the table. Everything off the table. Everything but her credit cards, obviously. He said, one that clearly said her debt is hers and my home/savings are mine if things go bad. I also said I'd go to therapy or counseling with her if this felt like a deeper trust issue. She didn't take it well. Said again that the prenup was an insult and I was basically planning for divorce. Then she started crying and said I was humiliating her and that I was destroying everything we had built over money. That's manipulation tactic 101. He said, but that's the thing. It's not just about the money. It's about the fact that she kept a massive amount of debt hidden until she had no choice but to tell me. And even then, she only told me because I pushed for it. That's not partnership, that's avoidance. So I told her I couldn't go through with it. I called off the wedding. It sucked. It still sucks. We told the venue, canceled what we could, and let people know. Her family is furious because they're not getting that check. Mine has been supportive, but trying not to say I told you so. I've lost a lot of money, deposits, suit, some family flying in from out of state, but honestly, that's nothing compared to what could have happened if I had ignored my gut. She moved out 2 days ago. We've barely spoken. I keep second guessing myself even now. I didn't want this, but I also don't want to wake up one day in financial ruin, wondering why I ignored every red flag just to avoid hurting someone. Anyway, thanks everyone who gave advice or just listened. I'm heartbroken, yeah, but I feel like I did the right thing. Doesn't make it easy, just necessary. Yeah, you definitely did the right thing, bruh. So the next story, would I be the a-hole for dumping my girlfriend after she ignored my calls and messages and went clubbing while I was undergoing emergency surgery? This is an older story, but apparently there's a new update. I, 22 male, and my girlfriend, 22 female, have been together for 5 years. We've been together since high school, and until recently, I've always considered her to be my future wife. I even bought a ring and was planning on proposing over the coming months. Since we ain't 21, they be trying to say it ain't love. Since we can't hit the club, they be trying to say we too young. Yes, you're too young. For anyone that doesn't know, that song is Young Love by Chris Brown. We have another case of a young relationship, and as many of them often go, it's not going well. 22, and y'all been together for 5 years, so since you were 17. It's a tale as old as time, okay? Like, it just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. Anyway, he said, well, last weekend, it was my girlfriend's best friend's birthday. She and her friends booked a private lounge at a club. Obviously, I didn't go since 1, I wasn't invited, and 2, I hated clubbing or anything associated with that. I was actually looking forward to spending an evening alone and just binging Netflix or something. Well, my girlfriend left around 9 p.m. and I just crashed on the couch and watched some YouTube. Around 11 p.m., I started to feel this distinct stomach pain, the same pain you experience when someone hits you in the privates. It wasn't bad at first, and I just thought my body was playing some tricks on me, but in the span of about 5 minutes, the pain just kept getting worse until I was basically stuck in the fetal position on the couch. Again, initially, I just thought the pain would go, but then I pulled down my pants and I felt like my right testicle was starting to swell. Yikes. The moment I tried to get up and grab my phone to inspect whatever the heck was happening to me, I just collapsed to the floor. Was it testicular torsion? What happened? That was probably the worst pain I've ever felt in my life. Imagine being pelted in the privates over and over again. I did manage to crawl to the table next to the couch to get my phone. I immediately tried calling my girlfriend, but she declined my call. I then texted her that something was wrong and could she come home immediately. The club she went to is like a 5-minute walk from our apartment. I just put the phone down and started throwing up because of the pain. Jeez. After throwing up for like a minute, it felt like the pain started to cool down a bit, and I grabbed my phone again, and that's when I saw her response. She just replied with, "What is it?" Yeah, exactly. What is it? Like, from his point of view, it's, terrible. From her point of view, she out with her friends trying to have a good time. He talking about come home, something's wrong. What's wrong? So you just texted me that something was wrong. Text me what it is that's actually wrong. He said, I tried calling her again, but as expected, she just declined again. I then texted her that I need to go to the hospital now. She then asked for what, and I just replied with, my privates hurt. I then just dialed for emergency services. Okay. I don't want to make any judgments, but I don't know. I feel like based on her response, maybe he has the tendency to err on the side of drama. So from her point of view, maybe this was just another, oh, here he go again. That, or she's really just a B. That, or she really just don't give a about this man. But I would like to know more context into their relationship history, because something about that interaction was interesting. He said, I explained my situation to the emergency responder, and she asked if there was somebody that could drive me to the hospital, and I stupidly said yes. Why would you say yes? I thought my girlfriend would be home soon and she would drive me to the hospital. I felt embarrassed to call an ambulance because my privates were hurting. After I told the emergency responder this, she then told me that she would call me again in 10 minutes to make sure I was being driven to the hospital. I then put down the phone and went back to vomiting on our carpet. See, like, you're on the phone with emergency services and you know your girl is out and you know she did not confirm whether or not she was going to be home. Why would you tell them you had a ride? And I'm not trying to put this all on him, but I don't know, something about him is annoying me. I don't know why. He said, again, after the pain went away for a bit, I checked my phone and saw that my girlfriend just responded with laughing emojis. I again tried to call her, but as expected, she just declined again. She texted me that this wasn't the time to play games, and she then told me that if I texted or called her again, she would block my number. I again tried calling her after she just said she was going to block you, but she declined again, and when I tried calling her a second time, I realized she actually blocked me. See, something about his problem-solving skills is really like grinding my gears, and I don't know, again, based off of what she said this isn't the time to play games. To me, that's a clue that he be doing stuff like this on a regular basis. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. I'm happy to be wrong, but something about this is just... He said, I went back to curling up on the floor, and now I started shivering. At this point, I didn't care about being embarrassed and just called emergency services again and asked for an ambulance. It felt like an eternity, but the ambulance eventually came and rushed me to the hospital. I will say though, let me take a pause. I will say though, if my partner texted me talking about I need to go to the hospital, I'm not going to be sitting there still declining their calls. So on her part, that was crazy. Like, no matter what, I would pick up the phone and be like, wait, like whatever you're doing, what she's out with her friend for her birthday, it's not that important to where you can't just real quick be like, oh my gosh, what happened? Are you really okay? Just to make sure. Like, if somebody's saying they need to go to the hospital, that's pretty serious. So that was kind of crazy of her. He said, it felt like an eternity, but the ambulance eventually came and rushed me to the hospital. I don't remember much of surgery since I was sedated, but I remember waking up eventually and my right testicle was being stitched together. The doctor informed me that I had a testicular torsion. That's what I thought. And I was extremely lucky to reach the hospital in time. I could have easily been forced to surgically remove my testicle. I checked my phone and saw the missed calls and messages my girlfriend left me. In summary, she came home from clubbing and smelled the vomit in our apartment. When she saw the vomit on our carpet, she got mad and tried searching the apartment to find me. When she realized I wasn't there, only then did it hit her that I was actually being serious. I just texted her in which hospital I was staying in and my room number, then went to sleep. I woke up the next morning and saw my girlfriend sleeping on a couch next to my bed. After she woke up, she started bombarding me with apologies. She thought I was joking, that I was trying to ruin their night, etc. I didn't have the energy to argue, so I just kept quiet. I was beyond hurt by what she did, and I wanted to break up with her then and there. Why the heck would somebody ignore messages where their partner is begging them to come home? Not only that, she stayed in the club until 3 a.m. and didn't even consider going home to check on me. She did stay with me in the hospital for the remaining 2 days I was admitted there and did take good care of me, but I was still beyond pissed at her. Ever since coming home yesterday, I've been wanting to dump her, but at the same time, I feel like she genuinely thought I was joking and made a mistake. I feel conflicted and don't know how to proceed in this situation. Would I be the a-hole if I dumped her? Am I overreacting? How would you guys navigate this mess? Just to clarify, no, I never had an issue with her going out in the first place or have ever pulled pranks on her to come home from a night out. And by the way, thank you guys so much for the support. I'm beyond blown away. Okay. He claimed that he never pulled pranks or anything like that to get her to come home, but has he pulled pranks in general? I don't know. But yeah, like I said, even if she did think he was joking, at the point where he said, I need to go to the hospital, I would have been on the phone like, wait a minute, are you being for real this time? So at the end of the day, she was in the wrong. Somebody said, even if she thought you were joking, you deserved a phone call. Your partner should be worried about you versus why are you ruining my night? Have you ever done this before? She could have called to confirm something was or was not wrong when you said hospital. I would really consider if you want to continue this relationship. She prioritized partying over a phone call, heard hospital and still blocked you, and was planning on yelling about the vomit. I wish you well in your healing. Another person, I can't imagine my partner blocking my number at all while we're actively dating, LMAO, let alone while I'm in the midst of a health crisis. Gargantuan red flag. Someone else said, yep, if I called my girlfriend and my number was blocked, I would assume I'm single and proceed with my life accordingly. Nah, that is kind of crazy though. Why she block him? Another person, former paramedic here. Dude, when you're in that level of pain, don't call your freaking girlfriend. Call emergency services. There's nothing to be embarrassed about. Oh, and not the a-hole, but your girlfriend is. Another person, they have a strong disconnect in communication styles. If they get married before figuring it out, they're going to blame each other. I forgot that part. He said he was trying to marry her. He was about to propose in the coming months. Yeah, nah, don't do that. Update 5 days later. First of all, I just want to thank all of you for the amazing support. It's been quite overwhelming, to be honest. I have so many unread messages, so please, guys, give me some time. I promise I'll respond to all of them. First of all, I would like to clear up some misconceptions brewing in the comment section of my last post. No, I have never pulled any malicious pranks on my girlfriend to get her to come home early from a night out or anything. Neither do I have an issue with her going out as long as she doesn't come home at like 6 a.m. And no, I've never blown up her phone like that while she was out with friends. We usually go out together since we share the same friend groups. Here are mine and her messages from WhatsApp in order since people thought I just texted her, my private's hurt or something. I mean, that's what you said, you texted her. But here's the messages. OP after she declined his first 2 calls. Please come home, something is wrong. Her, question mark, question mark. Can't talk right now, what is it? Side eye emoji. OP, he tried to call her again, and then he said, I need to go to the hospital. Her, question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark. What? OP, tried calling her 2 more times. Then he said, my private's hurt, please come now, something is wrong. Her, like 6 laughing emojis. OP tried to call her again twice after calling emergency services. Then she said, I swear don't bother me again or I'm blocking you. Let me freaking enjoy my night out. OP tried to call her again twice and got blocked. At this point, the pain was too bad to try anything with her anymore, and he just called the ambulance. Then her next message after unblocking at 2 a.m. OP, why the F is there vomit in the living room, and where the F are you? Why is the front door unlocked if you left somewhere? She then went into a full mental breakdown as she realized I was being serious about going to the hospital. Over 70 messages. This girl is unhinged. Okay, I'm fully on OP's side now. Something is not right with the girlfriend. Something is not right. Was she out cheating? I'm just trying to figure out why you wouldn't answer. If he hasn't done anything like this before, he's not known to do pranks and stuff to get you to come home, doesn't usually bother you when you go out, doesn't really care about you staying out late. If my partner is calling, I'm gonna answer purely because that's not with their normal behavior. So either she really is just unhinged, or he not telling the full side of his part. Because this is not making sense. It's not adding up. But from what we have right here, she looks crazy. 70 messages? He said, yes, it was stupid of me to expect her to drive me to the hospital since she was drinking. But again, in that type of pain, you don't think clearly. I think I needed her more for moral support, and I did it out of pure instinct. Not immediately calling an ambulance was also stupid of me. I was in a lot of pain, but stupidly at the time, thought that whatever I was going through would eventually calm down, and driving to the hospital would be better than calling an ambulance. Also, in hindsight, me being embarrassed about calling an ambulance over my testicles was definitely also really stupid. I'm glad he said that. Yeah, if y'all are ever in extreme pain like that, don't think it's gonna calm down. Get on that phone and call the people, because it could be life or death, or limb, or body part. Then he said, the amount of mental gymnastics some of you did in my comments to paint me as some sort of dweeb or emotionally needy person for bothering my girlfriend was truly mind-blowing to me. I promise you, if my girlfriend was in my position and I ignored her, none of you would be defending me. He told us. Now for the update. Thanks for all of those who wished me a speedy recovery. I'm doing much better now. Not being able to go to work for the next 3 weeks is definitely a bummer. I work for my dad's construction company and my job requires lifting a lot of heavy weights. I'm also prohibited from having any intimacy for the next 2 to 3 weeks as well. I might have also developed some trauma due to the pain. I randomly get the same sensation again and it's driving me nuts. See what I did there? As for me and my girlfriend, it's complicated. As so many of you and my mom told me, 5 years is definitely a long time to just be throwing away without having a proper conversation with her, so I did just that. I told her how hurt I felt by everything. I mentioned the following points. Her ignoring my messages and declining my calls. Yes, clubs are loud, but where I'm from, there are smoking areas where you can definitely have a conversation over the phone. Blocking me after I tried calling her. Her not checking on me even though the club she went to is only a 5-minute walk from our apartment. Her being angry about the vomit instead of being concerned. No, for real. She do sound like a villain, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. He said after hearing that, she got defensive and told me that I could have conveyed my situation better and that she genuinely thought I was joking. She was drunk and wasn't thinking clearly. Okay, I do agree with her on that. I do feel like he could have conveyed the situation better. Granted, he was in extreme amounts of pain and vomiting all over the living room. So maybe a voice note. I mean, if she wasn't trying to answer the call, maybe he could have did a voice note. I don't know. But if he had enough willpower to text what he was able to text, maybe he could have added more like details. I don't know. It's one of those hindsight 2020 things, maybe. He said, she also told me that it couldn't have been that painful and I was over exaggerating. Oh, I then told her, yes, I could have phrased my messages better and I apologized for that. But I then described the pain I was in and told her that I barely had any strength to text her, let alone send her a detailed description of what was happening to me, and definitely couldn't think straight throughout everything. After hearing what I said, she started crying and apologizing for what she did. She told me if she knew how serious it was, we wouldn't have been having this conversation. She then also apologized for her being mad over the vomit. According to her, she was drunk and tired and was just expressing frustration. I then asked her why she thought I was joking and if she was cheating on me, because this was seriously out of character for her, hence why I immediately trusted her with this. She started crying harder and she looked like I just slapped her in the face. She told me that she just thought I was being insecure about her being in the club with a bunch of guys, and no, she wasn't cheating on me and would never do something like that. We then hugged for a solid 10 minutes after that. The next part was really hard for me, but I told her I need some space to gather my thoughts and told her she needs to stay with her parents for the time being. She immediately started having a mental breakdown and asked if I was breaking up with her. I told her I wasn't sure and needed time to see if I still trusted her after all of this, and what she did was beyond disrespectful. How could I trust someone with my life after they pulled something like this? I then told her that we are young and this mess was mostly caused by our immaturity. This entire situation was an important life lesson for the both of us, regardless if we stayed together. After begging a bit more, she then put her head down and started packing a few essentials. Before leaving, she told me she would be willing to do anything to make up for this and that I could take as much time as I needed. She then gave me a big kiss and left. That was 2 days ago, and this is where we currently stand. I still give her updates on my healing, but besides that, we don't contact each other. I'm really torn right now. I still don't have that trust in her, but her owning up to her mistake shows that she knows she messed up and is remorseful. This is definitely something out of the ordinary for her, but there will have to be major boundaries and new rules set. I can think of the following. 1, if she blocks me again for anything, that means she's blocking herself from ever seeing me again. 2, ignoring my messages will not be tolerated anymore. 3, if she goes out alone again, she has to pick up if I call, regardless of the situation. I mean, yeah, I guess, but that almost sounds a little bit controlling because it makes sense at face value, but I don't know. Number three gave me some pause. And 4, as many of you suggested, having an emergency code like hospital or something would probably have to be implemented. I'm not going to abuse any of these boundaries, but I just want peace of mind knowing that my partner has my best interests at heart, even when she is physically not around me, but I don't know. Again, I just want to thank you guys for everything, and this whole experience was definitely an eye-opener for me. Should I get back together with her? If yes, would my demands be reasonable, and could I add something more? Would I be the a-hole if I dumped her over this whole saga? I mean, out the gate, I was thinking they shouldn't be together because they've been together for 5 years and they're only 22. Just based on that alone, I feel like some time apart at the very least would be good. Over this situation though, I personally would not. Like he said, they're both kind of immature, and it did seem like eventually she realized the error of her ways. For me, it would depend on if she's done anything along this line before, like if this is a pattern of behavior or this was just like a one-off mistake. If it was a one-off and then nothing like this happens again and we're able to, agree on some boundaries or whatever, then yes. But if she has a habit of blocking you, ignoring messages, not taking you seriously, etc., then yeah, let it go, bruh. Let it go. Someone said time in doesn't mean you need to stay with someone. That just delays the ending of it if you think you can't get past not trusting her. You would not be an a-hole if you chose to end it. You would also not be one if you decided to give it a go. You need to go with your gut. I, personally, would have a hard time getting past someone blocking me when we are in a relationship. Exactly. That level of petty would be too much for me. To me, that does not imply a partnership, and I need a partnership with my significant other. This October will be my 30th anniversary of being married. If he blocked me or did not pick up when I made multiple calls, that would be a trust broken, and I'm not sure I would be able to get past that. Yeah, and then the multiple calls, yeah, she was tripping. Somebody said, when I woke my partner up in the middle of the night for him. It was 9 a.m., but he got off work at 5 a.m. In pain so bad, all I could communicate was something is wrong. He dropped everything to help me. He drove me to the hospital, called my parents for me, explained what had been going on to the doctors, advocated for me to get pain meds, and stayed with me the entire time. That's what a caring partner should do. If a partner doesn't help, okay, maybe they can't. If my partner even called me twice in a row, I'd drop everything to answer or call back. If for some reason I can't, I'll text him. Your partner is a million red flags disguised as human, I think. Someone said, but also I would never be able to recover from this if this happened to me. You are having a medical emergency and she's still trying to blame you for not communicating clearly. That part was also a red flag on her part. Because yeah, she eventually came around and saw the error of her ways, but initially she was like, well, you didn't say it. So 2.5 months later, there was a very, very, very short update. Someone said, update us again, LOL. How are things going? How are the boys doing? If you know what I mean, LOL, hope all is well. OP responded, ha ha ha, thank you. Me and the boys are doing fine. I'm not posting an update since I had a lot of people calling me a B in my DMs. I've broken up with her and I'm doing much better. Well, I'm glad. At the end of the day, I'm glad. She was tripping. She was definitely tripping. All right, last story. Am I the a-hole for leaving my boyfriend for, quote, no reason? So this one has trigger warnings for food tampering, cheating, possibility of spreading STD, and self-unaliving. Jeez. What the hell? I, 26 female, have been with my now ex-boyfriend, Eric, 28 male, for 2 years. Overall, we've had a good relationship, nothing crazy, until last night when things completely fell apart. We were out at a bar with some of his friends, just having a normal night. Drinks, food, the usual. Eric and his friend, Mark, 28 male, were joking around, and Eric made a comment about how much Mark was eating. Something like, careful, Mark, you'll eat the whole dang bar. It seemed harmless at first, just typical guy humor. But then Mark looked right at me and said, if only she knew. What? Wait a minute. If only she knew? Wait a minute. She said it was one of those, wait, do they have a secret relationship? That's what my mind immediately goes to. Is Eric and the friend Mark messing around? If only she knew, it's crazy. She said it was one of those moments where you instantly feel uncomfortable, like there's something going on behind your back. I had no idea what Mark was talking about and the whole vibe at the table shifted. But before I could even react, Eric exploded. He went off on Mark, screaming at him to shut the F up and even tried to get physical. Oh, that's a red flag. Something's definitely going on. Cause why are you so upset? She said his other friends had to hold him back. Mark didn't really react, which only made Eric angrier. The whole thing was awkward as heck and we ended up leaving early. When we got back to my place, I couldn't stop thinking about that comment. So I asked Eric, what the heck did Mark mean by, if only she knew? What don't I know? Right. And instead of just answering me like a normal person, Eric lost it again. What the heck? He started yelling at me, telling me to drop it and stop being paranoid. He was dodging every question, getting more pissed every time I brought it up. I wasn't trying to pick a fight. I just wanted to know what was going on. It felt like there was something important being hidden from me and I wasn't about to let it slide. But every time I asked, he'd just get more defensive and angry. That man is gay. That man is gay. What other explanation? Okay, let me read. Eric said, careful, Mark. You'll eat the whole dang bar. Mark said, if only she knew. Then he blew up. I just wish more people would live in their truth. We would have a more peaceful society. Cause men be gay. Men be gay. And they don't be wanting to accept it. And they be gay. Just accept it, bro. Don't be up in my face. Go in his face. You're gay. That's fine. It's 2025. And I'm saying all this. Watch him not even be gay. Let's see. What is it? Okay. She said, finally, he stormed out of my apartment. He doesn't live with me, so I locked the door and called it a night. I didn't hear from him until this morning, and when I did, it was just more angry texts telling me to drop it and leave him alone. At that point, I was done. I'm not going to sit around and be treated like I'm crazy for asking a simple question. I texted him back saying, we're done. I need space, and if he can't be honest with me, then I don't want any part of this relationship. End of story, period. Now, here's where it gets worse. He's been going around to our mutual friends telling them that I left him for no reason and trying to make it seem like I'm the one who overreacted. Some of them have even reached out to me saying I should have just let it go and that I'm blowing things out of proportion. I told them to mind their own freaking business. I don't care what they think. None of them were in that moment. None of them saw how he acted, and none of them have to live with the pit in their stomach that I've had since that weird comment from Mark. I'm not about to stay in a relationship where I feel like something shady is going on behind my back. If Eric can't be straight with me after 2 years together, then what's the point? So, Reddit, am I the a-hole for leaving him over this? Not the a-hole, because that would bother me. I'm someone that overthinks a lot. So I would be just trying to think of all the possibilities. Like, what don't I know? Because it's obviously something. And that would just bother me. At the end of the day, he's lying to you about something, and that's enough. Somebody said, I get the distinct feeling that this is not the first time you've gotten on him about possible infidelity. Opie said, you're right, sadly. A few months ago, he was staying out late when going out with friends. I asked him about it. He stopped going out with his friends because you want this, you don't want me to be happy. Someone else said, that's wild. I'm sorry you're going through this. I'd ask Mark or his mother for details. Opie responded, Mark messaged me saying, sorry you have to deal with that, before blocking me. I don't know how to contact him. Wow. Someone else said, I'm guessing he said that in the restaurant in the first place because he wanted to warn you and your ex wouldn't tell you, but Mark's a coward. Opie responded, that's what I'm thinking as well. Someone else said, not the a-hole, but also I think the situation didn't ask for a neurosurgeon to figure out. Based on the comment, it seems pretty obvious that Eric used to, or may still be, fat, and it obviously is a sensitive point for him. Oh, I wasn't thinking that at all. I wasn't thinking that at all. The commenter also said, potentially he even was bullied by Mark for it, which is why he reacted to it extremely angry and hot-headed on the matter. I think the context made it pretty clear that something along the lines was going on. That doesn't excuse him snapping at you, but you should get better at reading your partner's behavior, because I am a freaking guy and not the emotional type either, but unless you aren't the sharpest tool in the shed, these are obvious first things that come to mind. It wasn't obvious to me. I thought that was gay, but I tend to come up with the craziest conclusions sometimes, so that wasn't obvious to me. Opie responded, thanks for your perspective. I get what you're saying about Eric possibly having a history with body image or being bullied, which might explain his reaction, but my point is that even if he has personal issues, it doesn't give him a free pass to lash out at me. I understand that men can have a tough time expressing their feelings, but relationships require open communication from both sides. I wasn't trying to poke at any insecurities. I genuinely wanted to know what was going on. When I asked him about Mark's comment, I expected a conversation, not an explosion of anger. It's not about being the sharpest tool in the shed, but rather about being in a relationship where both partners can talk openly without fear of being yelled at or dismissed. I've always tried to support him, and I want a partner who can communicate with me, especially when things get awkward. I appreciate your insight. And then the last comment says, I don't know, kind of seems like you just wanted a reason to leave. There must be something you're doing to make him act like that. If he's denying it, why don't you believe him? What? You're supposed to believe your partner over everything, and for your friends, you could have been nicer to them if they are just worried. Mark probably just wanted to get into your pants, and you probably would have let him, judging off that you believed him over your own boyfriend. That must be Eric commenting. That must be the boyfriend commenting on this post. What? Opie responded, wow, your comment is a prime example of how utterly clueless you are about relationships. This isn't about me wanting a reason to leave. It's about having the guts to walk away from someone who can't communicate like a grown-up. If you think I should just sit back and accept Eric's insane outbursts as normal, then it's clear you've never been in a healthy relationship. Seriously, Eric's reaction was a complete overreaction. If you expect me to interpret his rage as love, you must be living in some fantasy world. I'm not a mind reader, and I'm not going to tolerate his childish behavior just because it makes him feel better. And your pathetic defense of my friends, they actually care about me, unlike you, who seems more interested in playing the white knight for some dude's toxic behavior. If Mark had a crush on me, that's his issue, not mine. I'm not the one who lost their cool and threw a tantrum. That was all Eric. By the way, I looked at your post history, and it's painfully obvious you have a deep-seated hatred for women because you got cheated on. Maybe it's time for you to shut up. Jeez. Since you clearly can't keep a woman around. Yikes. You're just bitter and pathetic, and it shows. Before you come at me, do everyone a favor and take a long, hard look in the mirror. This isn't about me believing Mark over Eric. It's about refusing to let some dude's explosive temper dictate my worth. So why don't you crawl... She going in on this. Why don't you crawl back to your sad little life and keep your toxic opinions to yourself? Sheesh! Goodness gracious. Okay, this is editing Daisha here. I know we gave a trigger warning at the beginning of this story, but before we get into these updates, I'm telling you, this is probably the top most egregious stories I have ever read. Super violating. Like, I'm telling you, please take the trigger warning seriously. We're about to get into the part with like food tampering and spread of STD, okay? You could probably tell by the title of this video how serious it is. I barely could get through. I'm telling you. So I'm just warning you. If you want to click away from the video at this point, please do for your own mental health or whatever. But I want to give you a fair warning. It's about to get real in these next two updates. It's crazy. So, here we go. Bruh. Okay, this is absolutely disgusting. This is absolutely disgusting. Have we read this before? I feel like I've heard of this story before. Oh, probably have, because this new update is the new update from recent. Bro, this is disgusting. Okay, let me just read it. She said, I feel like I'm living in some kind of twisted nightmare, and the more I try to make sense of it, the worse it gets. Mark called me today while I was at work. I didn't expect him to call me because he was ignoring me. I stepped outside to take the call, and he told me something that I never in a million years could have prepared for. He told me that Eric has been putting other men's semen into my food, drinks, skincare, shampoo, conditioner, and even my toothpaste. Are you kidding me? What kind of sick? What? I'm speechless. So was he really gay? Cause what? I would be sick. I would be literally vomiting in the parking lot. My thoughts are all over the place. I'm so flabbergasted. I feel like I can't even form a complete comment. She said, I'm not exaggerating. I'm not being dramatic. That's what Mark said. Eric has apparently been hooking up with random men. I knew it. I told y'all that man was gay. Not only was he gay, he's sick. He a freak. She said Eric has apparently been hooking up with random men, having them finish into cups, and then using it in my meals and drinks like it's some kind of sick joke. Even as I write this, I'm still in complete disbelief. Who does that to someone? That is disgusting. This about the most disgusting thing I've ever read. And we done read some crazy stuff. I think this takes the cake. I would be at the police station immediately after I vomited up all my entrails. I would be at the station making a report, trying to get him under the jail. And I would need Mr. Mark to sign an affidavit so that I could have somebody for some proof. I'd have my cell phone out. What was that? Say that one more time. So I could get a recording or something for some proof. Put that man under the jail. That's disgusting. She said Mark said he found out about this a week ago, but for some reason it took him that long to tell me. A week. I've been living my life completely oblivious, trusting Eric, someone I loved, while this was happening behind my back. I feel so betrayed, so disgusted, and so violated. Oh, I just started thinking about it again. Oh. When I asked Mark if he and Eric were having an affair or if this was some sort of twisted thing between them, he swore they weren't, and he even made a gross comment about not wanting to touch Eric because, quote, who knows what diseases he has, end quote. That made my stomach turn. I'm getting tested for everything now because I don't know what's been in my body. That's just disgusting. When I got home, I went straight to the kitchen. Mark told me to check under the sink, and there they were, the cups, hidden behind the cleaning supplies. I lost my crap. I threw out everything in the kitchen and bathroom, even stuff I knew wasn't touched. I don't care. Everything feels contaminated now. My home doesn't feel like a safe space anymore. Every time I walk into the kitchen, I feel like I'm going to throw up. I can't even function without my mind going to dark places, thinking about all the times I had no idea what was happening. I'm not gonna lie, that might send me to the behavioral health hospital. Something like this, I don't know if I would be able to handle this. This is absolutely disgusting. I don't think I could mentally handle this happening to me. She said, I don't have any solid proof of this. It's just Mark's words in those disgusting cups, and I feel so powerless. If nothing can be done about this, I honestly don't know what I'm going to do. How is this even legal? How can someone get away with something so vile? I don't know if I'll ever be able to trust anyone again. This whole thing has been messing with my head in ways I can't even explain. I feel dirty. I feel like I've been violated on such a deep level, and there's nothing I can do to undo it. My mom wants me to check into a hospital just to make sure I'm okay mentally, and I'm honestly going to do it. I would too, girl. I would too. She said, I don't feel stable right now. I don't feel like myself. I'm scared I might hurt myself or someone else. Eric was eating the same food. He was eating the food that he had contaminated right alongside me. I don't even know anymore. All I know is that the man I thought I knew, the man I loved, is a complete stranger to me now. I can't believe I've been living with someone capable of something so vile. I feel like I'm losing my mind, and I don't know how I'm going to come back from this. How can he do this to me? I'm genuinely losing it. I'm a danger to myself. I'm going to check myself into the hospital. I'm not gonna lie. They'd have to check me into the hospital and probably book me at the county jail after. That is disgusting. Let's go to the next update. New update, same 5 months later. After everything happened, I completely broke down. I stopped eating. I stopped sleeping. I barely even felt like a person anymore. My mom was terrified, and she practically forced me to go to the hospital. I tried to put it off for a couple of days. I got worse. She was scared I was going to do something to myself, and honestly, I don't blame her. I wasn't okay. I was so far from okay. I felt like my entire world had been flipped upside down. I couldn't even think straight. I just kept replaying everything in my head over and over again, trying to make sense of it, but nothing about this makes sense. Nothing. I ended up staying in the hospital for a week. The doctors were kind and they did their best to help me, but there was only so much they could do. They couldn't erase what happened. They couldn't make it not real. At some point, I just felt like I was wasting space. I knew there were other people who needed that bed more than I did, people who were physically hurt, people who could actually be helped. Because what happened to me, there's no fixing that. No amount of therapy, No amount of medication, no amount of time is ever going to undo it. I know that now. So I left. I'm back at my parents' house now, staying in my old childhood bedroom. It feels so strange, like I've stepped back in time, like I'm a teenager again, except I'm not. I'm an adult, and my entire life has just exploded in front of me, and I don't even know how to pick up the pieces. My cousin is here too, staying in the guest room, and honestly, I don't know what I would do without her. She's basically my sister, and she hasn't left my side since I got here. I know she's worried about me, even though she tries not to show it. I don't blame her. I'm worried about me too. The police actually took things seriously. I was scared they wouldn't, that they would laugh at me or tell me I was crazy, but they didn't. I could see it on their faces. They believed me. They went to Mark's house to get his full story since he had blocked me the day after everything went down. That hurt more than I thought it would. I thought he was my friend. I thought he cared about me, but the second things got hard, he ran. But now I know the truth, and I finally have the full story. That night when Mark and Eric were drinking together, Mark went to change the music on Eric's phone. While he was doing that, a message popped up from Lewis. Yes, one of the friends that told me I was, quote, overreacting. The message said, "Good night, I love you," with a heart emoji. Mark thought it was weird. Lewis and Eric weren't that close, so he scrolled through the notifications and saw a bunch from Grindr. At first, he thought maybe it was just a joke. Apparently, Eric used to go on Grindr, quote, as a joke. Back when they were younger and having sleepovers, these men be gay. And the thing is, that's okay. But for some reason, they haven't gotten it through their thick skull that it is okay. So they cosplay as heterosexual men and release themselves on the masses like a virus. Stop. Repeat after me. It's okay to be gay in this day and age. Like, stop. Stop doing this. You on Grindr as a joke? For real? What straight man gets on Grindr as a joke? I don't even know very many straight men who know what Grindr is if they haven't heard about it on social media or something like that. Any just straight men out in the wild don't know what no Grindr is. They probably thinking about smoking. If you say Grindr, they thinking for the puff pass. They not thinking no gay dating app. Are you talking about you on Grindr as a joke? This is exhausting. Please. It's okay to be gay. Jesus. This is just crazy. Okay. She continues with what Mark, the friend, was saying. But the more he scrolled, the worse it got. There were so many messages. Mark said his stomach dropped. He felt sick. He never suspected that Eric was actually gay. He never even considered it. But in that moment, everything started to click. And then he realized something else. He had trusted Eric. He had changed in front of him, slept next to him, shared things with him, and suddenly he felt violated. So he confronted him. That's when Eric broke down. He started crying, begging Mark not to tell me. He told him everything, every disgusting detail. Mark said he just stood there, frozen, unable to move. He didn't know what to do. He told Eric to calm down and go to bed. Eric passed out drunk, and the next morning, neither of them spoke about it. But then that night at the bar, when Eric made the comment about food, knowing that Mark had struggled with body image issues his whole life, that was it. That was the breaking point. That's why Mark reacted the way he did. That's why he snapped. And now for Eric. I don't even know how to say this, so I'm just going to say it. He passed away. Bruh, this is too much. This is actually too much. Whew, child. After everything came out, Eric completely shut down. His mom said he wasn't eating, wasn't showering, barely left his room. She thought he was just processing everything, so she left him alone. She would leave for work in the morning and he would still be asleep. She'd come home at night and he would still be in his room, sitting there in the dark smoking. She said he hadn't smoked since high school, so she had no idea where it even came from. Then one night, she woke up to a loud noise. She went to check on him, and that's when she found him. He had unalived himself. She was the one who found him alone. I don't even know how to process that. As much as I hate him, as much as I will always hate him, I felt bad for her. No mother should have to find their child like that. No one deserves that. I'm not continuing the investigation. I don't have it in me. His family has already been through enough, and honestly, his passing was my closure. That probably sounds awful, but it's the truth. He was a terrible person. He ruined me. I can't. This is the worst. Why did I pick this? I'm like about to cry. What? She said he gave me AIDS. What? I'm so stressed. He gave me AIDS. I am never going to be the same again. I will carry this for the rest of my life. I wish I had never met him. I wish I could erase him from my memory. I dread the day I die because that means I might see him again. And then there's Lewis, the other friend. He's hiding. He's blocking everyone, avoiding all contact. And at first, I didn't understand why, but now I do. He was involved. He was one of them. I didn't even consider it at first, but the way he's acting now, it's obvious. And if he was, he's either going to jail or getting hit with my car. And I'm fine with either. This is actually too much. She said, that's all for now. Sorry if this isn't the update you wanted, but this is my reality now. I'm so angry. The thought of death doesn't even bring me peace because he ruined that for me. There's so much more to this, but I don't think it's really necessary for you guys. It's mostly just police stuff. Eric's family wanted me to attend his funeral. Are you kidding me? And then there's the whole situation with Lewis. Also, Mark tried to sleep with me. This is terrible. And this is why I say it's okay to be gay. This is freaking ridiculous. None of this had to happen. None of this. You over here living a secret life, presumably having unprotected intimacy with your girl while you over here cheating on her with men. Went and got AIDS, gave it to her without her knowing. We need the palate cleanser today. I did not, there were trigger warnings, but I just didn't know it was going to be like that. Jeez. This is a palate cleanser, y'all. I saw this on Instagram. It's a guy. I feel like I can't even. It's a guy. He's playing the piano and singing for his dog.
For me, darling, just tiring and fall on my leave. Well, I'll find a girl and beautiful and sweet. Oh, I'll never knew you were just someone waiting for me. 'Cause we were just keywords that fell in love. Now knowing what he was, I will forgive you. Oh, this time, darling, just kiss me slow.
Okay, that actually did kind of work to lift my spirits. For anyone not watching, is a guy sitting on the floor with a keyboard. He's not an English speaker from what I can hear. That's why some of the words he kind of messed up a little bit. But the dog, it's like a Frenchie sitting next to him, and the dog looked like he in tears, bro. Like eyes glossed over. First he's like sitting next to him, then he puts his paws like on his leg, on the guy's leg. Then he's just fully like standing basically almost on the guy's lap. But he's so moved by the performance. It's just so cute. They say that if you sing to your dog, it helps them live longer. I don't know if that's really true, but oh yeah, he's not an English speaker. I think he's Italian. Racuso Music is his page. But phew, today was a little bit of a roller coaster, child. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next video.